Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one man review. Today we'll be taking a look at the brand new Living the Lion book, Harpy, by the artist EPHK. I'm going to rant and rave positively about this book, which is awesome because I just did another review of Living the Lion book that wasn't as positive on my own personal reception of it. So now you all know that when I'm ranting and raving about a Living the Lion book, I actually mean it as much as I mean it about any other books. And this book is so fucking cool. I was really, really astonished by it. FK is a hell of an artist, and I've enjoyed pinups and stuff and seen some comics, but this is a real achievement. 300 some odd page book being put out. So this is a science fiction book set in 2062. We jump between the beginning of the majority of the book is in Cape Town, South Africa, and then later on we jump to Hong Kong. So this is giving you a look right out the gate of FK's amazing artwork. There's a whole bunch of these kind of world vibe building shots that are just absolutely packed with detail. All throughout the book, the sense of place is a huge part of the story and a huge part of the art. And FK like takes no shortcuts in the art. There's just beautiful, beautiful stuff all the way through. The main character that we're following is a detective, female detective who's Chinese, and I think she's mixed a little bit, but she's Chinese having immigrated to South Africa, and the reasons behind that is like part of what comes out in the story. She goes by the name Gunny, and Gunny's like a typical smoking, drinking, like not enjoying life type of cop, and she's on the homicide team and gets assigned a murder in this story. So here you can see Gunny coming in and meeting with her partner, and there's this murder here with the beheading. They start to find some evidence of who did it. There's another murder, so it starts to look like maybe a serial killer, and this story unravels from there as Gunny's trying to chase down who is committing these murders and why. But again, you can see the world building just going on in the artwork. There's some really great writing in here too, some really good comedy in the writing that kind of, as good sci-fi will do, speaks to where things are heading. You have Gunny here coming into a fast food restaurant and asking for the meal, and the robot's like, unfortunately we're out of the VIP sauce. Okay, whatever, give me the two with the usual sauce then. Adding two more breakfast specials with the regular sauce. To be clear, I just said two sandwiches, yeah. Adding two more breakfast specials with the regular sauce. Jesus fuck, don't test me, robot. I only need two breakfasts. Adding two more breakfast specials with the regular sauce. Adding two more specials with the regular sauce. Thank you for your order of 12 breakfast sandwiches. So I really like that interaction. It's one of those things of like where technology has gotten too smart to be useful. It's so smart it becomes dumb, or it's doing exactly what it meant to. But life would be so much faster and easier if we weren't having to interact with these weak AI automaton things. And I just really enjoyed that scene. Taking the time within a big story like this to world build like that, to character build like that, and to relate it to what the reader's going through, I think is a really, really clever move. There's some more shots of just like drawings of Cape Town, some really cool 5-point curvilinear perspective going on just to show how big it is and how much like just cardboard houses are built up. Kind of looks like California right here. It's typical underpass back in California last time I was there. Heard they're cleaning up because Gavin Newsom thinks he should be president next. But bro, that's what your state looks like right there. So just a lot of that, a lot of really juicy, sexy imagery in the book. And then the other thing that makes this book so good and so enjoyable is that it is also this deep character study. It's talking about someone who is like from an immigrant family living somewhere else. It is going into her personal life and setting up some situations that are really awkward for the character to have to deal with. So in this, she's been assigned by the police force to a psychologist, and the psychologist is an ex-girlfriend of hers that is obviously really hurting better at her for problems they've had in a relationship, and kind of using the therapy to make Gunny confront some of those things she knows that she hasn't confronted about her past. So that throws an extra wrinkle into it. It also gives a lot of kind of plot weight later in the story. A really fun page here where Gunny and her partner are using their tracking technology and using the cameras on different stoplights and things like that to track the perp that they're looking for. So I really love this whole giant grid of the city here and tracking where Gunny's moving through there. I think that's a really great imagery. There's another one of those pages where you got the technology being too smart for itself, and I like that FK wrote on this one, smart drive, and Gunny's having a hard time getting this thing to start because it's voice activated, like they're trying to make everything now, and rather than just sticking a key in and go, it's like, would you just fucking start? And the thing's having problems. The current destination is not available. So just things like that throughout to keep it also funny as well as intense. As Gunny continues to search for this perp and these murders, she gets drawn into a bigger conspiracy. I'm not going to go into that because obviously I think everyone should go read the book, but the story just kind of keeps growing and getting bigger and bigger. And another major important feature of the story is that Gunny keeps having these blackout moments, which is why she's in the therapy in the first place. So you kind of return to this repeat imagery of her being dunked in the water or drowning, this kind of panic imagery that she has, and then she'll black out for a while. So that's like another mystery. There's a bunch of mysteries all cycling together throughout the book. Character mysteries, murder mysteries, everything like that. Another really, really fun scene here, just showing Gunny drunk, like making her way through the city and through the clubs. I love just all of, I love how FK draws Gunny. I just love the rubberiness of her, but also still like feels like accurate anatomy, even though it's really distorted, and her movements seem really natural and everything like that. You can see the rhythm that's created with that on the page. I think this page also represents another thing that I wanted to mention about the book, which is just the fantastic coloring all throughout, and these different color schemes that kind of get cycled through. As your eye starts to get too heated up from a more color scheme, it will move over to a cool color scheme. Lots of like red, greens, blue, orange, complementary color schemes. Throughout the book, there's just a lot of really beautiful color. And I like on this page how it just kind of fades through a few of the main color schemes in the book. As the search into this conspiracy gets bigger, Gunny has to leave South Africa and go back to China. This is a page on that journey there. But on this page and the prior page and a couple other pages in the book, there's either some black and white ink wash that got colored, or there's just straight up coloring going on with the paints first physically that then gets scanned in, and then the digital stuff put in on top. But some really beautiful, moody, again, beautiful colors. FK's a hell of a painter with watercolor inks and stuff like that. It, almost as amazing as the art is throughout the whole rest of the book, and singular and unique and interesting as FK's style is, I see these painted pages like, oh my God, I want to see more painted stuff. And if you've seen FK's illustrations that have more of a painted look to them, you'll kind of be able to imagine, like extrapolate out, okay, like a whole book full of this kind of stuff. So it's already a tremendous success in terms of art. And these pages suggest to me that there's other places this artist could go that are just as good or even more beautiful. And then a real quick look at Hong Kong, since that's just another major location in there, and another sense of like the just visual world building. I was actually texting Sean and Brandon, because Brandon knows FK, I think is how Sean got hooked up with this project. Asking, like, before I was even finished reading the first half of the book, asking if FK was from South Africa, because I felt like the way the characters were talking, the way everything looked, it felt like someone who lived in a place and then said, okay, what's this place going to look like 40 years in the future? And then I got to the Hong Kong part, and it's like, oh, well, it feels like that there too. It's the clothes, it's the way the characters are talking, it's their surrounding. So I asked, like, is FK has they lived in these places? Like, and they both said that FK just moved around a lot and maybe has his wife is from China, maybe. So that's the sense I get, is someone who's at least visited a lot of these places, spent enough time there to pick up a sense of like the local rhythms and cultures and the speech and kind of like the values of the culture that might be put like extrapolated forward into what it would look like in the future. I think this sequence here with Hong Kong having like the new big mega everything all tech, and then as Gunny goes through, you know, down into the lower and lower classes of things, it starts to look a little bit more recognizable, and eventually you get just kind of like a teched up old Chinese restaurant. But there's just that deep sense of place throughout everything that I think, you know, as impressive as everything else in the book was, it was that, just the commitment to that in almost every panel, you know, building out those backgrounds, building out that world, taking the time to write dialogue that has colloquialisms from certain places, slang, even some places where people are speaking another language, it's not translated into English. It just feels like you're very much embedded in this world, and it's such a beautifully rendered world, and it's such an exciting story that you don't want to leave it. You just keep looking at it. So thoroughly enjoyed this book. Oh, this is a page two, since I randomly flipped to it. I didn't want to show off all the cool ones, but randomly flipped to it. I really like this. This is Gunny stuck in a shipping container for a number of days, and that's my absolute nightmare as someone who's pretty claustrophobic. And this page really got to me. The writing on it really got to me as well. So thoroughly enjoyable book. I hope you all go get it. It's peak science fiction, really focuses on character motivations, but also has all kinds of other cool sci-fi stuff, conspiracy stuff, really covers a lot of bases. So I hope you all get this and enjoy this. I think this book should be a huge success. I hope the content of it definitely deserves it.
Make sure to like, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell.